All right, welcome to the show, Cuddie Joe. Welcome to Church with Bo.
Church, my dog, Baja Boskis, man.
Yes, sir. Give us an intro. What do you do? Who are you? What do you want the people to know about you currently? What's popping?
Yo, I'm Cuddie Joe, man. Appreciate both for having me on the church podcast, man. Ready to get down and dirty on some questions, you know what I'm saying? Um, I am a dolphin trainer of sorts. I also specialize in speaking patois and translating patois to people amongst different cultures and
You're
ethnicities.
you're fluent in Swahili too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've been practicing a lot of my Caribbean dialects and Caribbeanic, as some would say, dialects. And
I I heard that you might also be a representative of the Church of Islam.
yeah, exactly. So that's where the cutty comes from. It's actually derives from a deep lineage of source genetics, and yeah, it gets pretty extensive. But other than dolphin training, most of my time I make music as well. You know what I mean? I do all the technical things as far as audio. I produce music, produce beats, songwrite, arrange, engineer, mix, master, all that type of stuff, man.
Nice. Do you have some kind of stream? Are you streaming? You podcast or something?
Oh yeah, you bro. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm actually streaming right now on Twitch. Yeah, to 5 people. Oh fuck, let me pull it up on my stream. I'm tripping.
Oh, hell.
Oh shit. My bad. I didn't mean to do this, bro. I didn't mean to do all this, bro. I
No,
didn't mean to do all this.
good. Uh,
Oh yeah. Oh, Discord. My bad. Change this from Discord to Zoom. Easy. At least it's easy and pretty fucking seamless. Yeah, there we go. All right, we're good. Yeah, so yeah, I'm on Twitch right now streaming. Been streaming 90 days straight. I'm on day 23 out of 90. Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been dope as fuck. I'm gonna be honest, building a dope community and letting people know this shit's achievable and how close it is to us. You know what I mean? Trying to be good to the community and keep them involved. It's been fun as fuck.
oh yeah. I mean, just like I told you, like I'd tell anybody. As long as it's something that once you've done for a week or two, you can actually see yourself getting into and doing regularly, then I think it's worth doing. Because if you could be consistent, you can get something going, even if it's only to a few hundred people.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And it just intertwines with my life already. So it's like I'm not really changing anything I'm doing right now. I am trying to build up my focus though, because sometimes when I'm streaming, I feel like I get a little sidetracked trying to it be entertaining, think about what people might want to hear, but also like get work the normal amount of work done I would do in a day. You know what I mean? Like a normal amount. So I'm still figuring out the balance of it, but yeah, it's been pretty dope, and I don't see it as something that at this point, 23 days in, it's low key a habit, and I feel crazy not doing it. So I'm like, yeah, a couple hours a day, probably every day for a long time. You know what I mean? Even well, we've always been video game nerds, so it's like it just intertwines. I feel like with our personalities, we've always been on the internet. We've always been ahead of the curve on the internet. We've always, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like now the internet and electronics is really a fucking a staple in our fucking life. So it's like when we were kids, it was just becoming something. So now it's just
Exactly.
yeah.
No, I was just thinking that even if you don't stream and you were to, keep doing what you're doing regardless, nothing would really change. The only thing the streaming is doing in your current schedule is giving the people or, people who want to see it even or who don't want to see it an extra look into like what's behind the scenes of, being an actual producer, really making music every day.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, and around like the A-listers and just like just exchange information like as far as decision making. I feel like as a creative, sometimes decision making, you're always confident in what you're doing as a creative, but sometimes it's just a little bit of validation. As much as we're not tailoring it for other people, sometimes that validation just is the little extra kick that'll keep you creating. You know what I mean? So it's also just understanding how it is to be a young creative. You know what I mean? And being like a source of like somewhere where people can go and just feel like this shit is not Like sometimes when you're creative and you express things, people don't understand them fully because they just can't comprehend. And that's not even like a shit on you kind of thing. It's just a literal thing. Like they can't understand what it takes and like what like the process. So just
Right.
having someone that's did that, you know what I mean? It just and I feel like that's my responsibility too, getting older, is just letting people know, like, that
Right.
shit
But
is
what I really like about your stream is that you bridge the gap too. I've seen you have random people just hop in your stream and be like, hey, can you check this beat out? Can you check this song that I did out? And you're like, all right, just give me a follow. It's free for you and it helps me. So let me help you. All right, cool. And they get their shit heard on stream. And at
yeah,
the end of the day, it's a win-win, and you're bridging the gap because, like you said, you're around the top level of it. But at the same time, it's not, you can help people understand that it's not that big of a difference overall to it.
yeah. Like I feel like I feel like I'm not the out of touch guy where you know what I mean? Like at least yet. I don't You gotta get some astronomical types of money and accolades to really be out of touch. But yeah, it's like I think a lot of people think this shit is and always have think a lot of these things like is unrealistic. And this shit is as cliche as it always has been. Like you can really do everything you want. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty crazy.
To it and consistency are the hell of a weapon.
It really is. Your fucking mind is a crazy tool, bro.
All right. In more serious news, I've got a couple questions.
Yes, sir. I'm ready for him.
Or ravioli,
I think I'm ready for him. Shit. What was the question? My bad.
spaghetti, or ravioli?
In what scenario?
You're taking a girl out. You got a you got a nice little Italian joint, and you got to decide if you want the angel hair Alfredo or the I don't know what ravioli.
Who what kind of waiter do I have? First question.
Wuhan.
I mean, it plays into what I'm gonna order. I mean, if I got some Italian fucking skis ball, then I'm getting fucking spaghetti. And if I got fucking Pierre fucking you feel me with the you feel me on the you feel me, then I'll probably get the ravioli. You know what I'm saying? But if the spaghetti is also comes out with sleazeball with the cheese wheel, then I'm getting the spaghetti every time.
Okay. So you're
So
telling me
I'll just
waiters
pick.
and you get ravioli?
Yeah, depending on what the waiter looks like, how Italian they might be. You know what I'm saying? How the bags under their eyes, how dark the bags under their eyes are. Do they smell like cigarettes? How many calluses are on their hands?
They have to smell like cigarettes.
I mean, if we're talking if we're talking authentic Italian, hey, I lived in New York for 2 years. I got a little Italian food under my belt.
Oh, calm down, B.
Oh, B. I lived in the bougie. I lived with the Koreans, the real foreign Koreans in fucking. That sounds crazy saying that, but yeah, in Queens,
Are there a lot of small dogs?
yes. And I was the only person that we were the only group of people that like looked modern. Everybody else was like very conservative, like
Hoity
business
toity.
business people. Yeah.
It's a contest for them out there. They're playing a game we have no idea about.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Them and the Orthodox Jews, bro. They got some shit going on out there, bro. They're fucking running everything.
Okay. Favorite place you've ever been? Why? And why did you decide to go?
Favorite place I've ever been? Holy shit. Mm, I've never been out the country. I'll start with that. So it's gonna be very local choosings.
Very local.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to either say Hawaii or Houston.
Houston. That's right.
Yeah,
What's
it's
going
kind
on in Houston?
Hawaii's easy to kind of understand what's going on.
Right.
Houston, I feel like I don't know, just maybe the circumstances I was out there, just a good time. great food, good food portions, beautiful women that aren't snobby or like down to earth. They're down to earth people. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like they're not out of touch. Maybe I've been in LA too long too, though. I don't know.
Could
But
be.
yeah, but the Bay's like that too. The Bay and New York, it be just stuck up, snobby. You know what I mean? It can go both ways though. Don't get me wrong. But it's just in Texas. I don't know. It just felt like a little more homey. Felt like everybody was like, yeah, we're just people.
Yeah, that's also a thing too, a lot of the times. If you go to a place at the right time and you're doing good and everything's good, that ends up being one of your favorite places regardless.
Yeah, for sure. And I was doing good. I was out there. It was like I've been out there multiple times, but like a few of the first times it was like my jeweler's birthday and we're with him and he's taking us out and we're fucking doing all the things on him. It was just a great time, a great vibe. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. It probably was my experience just because of, you know what I mean? But even the other times that were a little more like chill, it was still fun, super fun.
I've never been to Texas outside of airports. I've been at like the Houston and Dallas airports.
Bro, I've rode around Texas smoking weed like we were in fucking Oakland. Bro,
Windows down.
up,
Uh,
up, sometimes down. But yeah, we
Oakland
fucking
is windows down.
hot
Middle.
boxing in fucking Houston. That's a song name. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, no. Oakland is literally windows down past the cops and just hoping they don't, want to get on you.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Very, very true, brother.
Yeah.
Do you stack chips? Reversal question.
What did Young Thug say? I'm not a Dorito boy. I stack chips.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is a fun one. I wrote down hogs are out. Hog meat is grown in labs now. How do you feel?
Bro, I feel like I've never I might eat like a pulled pork very rarely or something, and then just bacon.
What I'm referring to is like my friend, I had a chemist on a couple episodes ago, and he works for a lab grown meat company, and like the company they sell to like there's a couple countries that have allowed it, but they literally will grow like chicken breasts and fucking steaks in a lab from like cells that they pull from a chicken breast, and then they give it to stem cells and grow like the full steak without the need for the animal at all. And his
Holy
company,
fuck.
yeah, and his company is out, they're out of California, but they're like fighting for the rights of like lab grown meat and trying to get like it allowed in grocery stores in America and stuff. How do you feel about
Uh, so the question is, how do I feel about lab grown meat?
that?
I don't think I'm with it. I'm not. I
Yeah.
don't. It's very, very rare lab things. Period. Like as far as ingestible and I don't. You know what I mean? Fucking. It's gonna sound crazy, but just anything oral, like whether it's food or a pill or like you know what I'm saying, like and that you ingest, and I just can't. I don't know whether it's the fucking pharmaceutical shit. It'd be like, what the fuck? Let alone some food. You feel me? It'd be like,
An apple agrees.
yeah, it's be like, all right, well, some of this shit you can't really deny. Some of this shit is really helping us. But I mean, if we're talking about lab grown fucking processed cured meat, fuck no.
I think it could be cleaner than, like how we treat the pigs and the chickens and stuff and all the like terrible conditions that we're pulling this like giant amounts of factory farmed meat from. I think it could technically be healthier and cleaner if done right. But yeah, you're basically experimenting on the first 5, 10 years of people.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like shit could be fucking genetically fuck us and turn us into the hog.
Yeah, I'd be more willing to do it, but at first, for the first literally like 10, 20 years, use the lab grown meat to like, feed parts of the world that are literally starving. Like countries like Yemen where people have no food at all and they're in like a food desert.
That's smart.
Give them the lab, if they agree to it, let them know. Don't just, sneak it on them. Tell them this is the deal. And if they're like, all right, we'll test the lab grown meat.
Yeah, that's actually smart.
Right.
try to fix hunger somewhere. I mean, yeah, but that could also be looked at as like inhumane by some people just for like testing on humans. I don't know.
Yeah, but like
What?
I said, you gotta, at the end of the day, it's a starving country. The other countries calling you inhumane aren't spending their money to give those countries food. And you're telling that country, this is what it is, this is what we can do. And if they agree, they agree.
Yeah,
I don't
I think that'd be probably the best choice. If
Right. I'm
that
just I'm just trying to think of a way to make it work,
No, I hear that. Yeah, optimistic for sure. I fuck with that.
Right. How do you feel about aliens? Could they be real? What's the deal?
All right, I'm in California. Let's get this straight. What aliens are we talking about?
Why are there some in your studio?
No, but I just want to answer this correctly.
I'm talking about visitors. I'm talking about the otherworldly, other intradimensional beings.
That's what I thought. What if I just pulled out an alien? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, my grandma on that woo.
My grandma alien right now, bro.
About to do a Santeria, cut the head off a goose and sacrifice right now for an alien.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember what we were talking about in Discord the other day, but fucking when someone came into my Twitch and was like, "Grandpa's sex closet." I'm like, "What?" That was for sure something we brought up yesterday, but I don't know what the fuck we were talking about exactly.
No, I am not. I don't know anything about grandpas. Not
Sure, buddy.
the last grandpa I knew was the Zodiac killer, and
I
he pet my hair, and then I pet his bald ass head.
knew the Zodiac killer back when I was 10.
Ugh,
Ooh,
real Vallejo.
real Vallejo player. Catch me on a Herman Road doing a drive-by.
Hey, he said that he was I mean, his grandkids told me that he was a cop in Vallejo, and it was a bunch of them that were in on it.
Oh,
And
shit.
apparently they were all Klansmen that like felt bad about doing Klan stuff. So they were like, when they were doing the Zodiac killings, it was only white people, like basically suburban white couples that were getting murked.
I mean,
Yeah.
what a
I don't know.
what
It's believable,
what a
but
terrible justification though. Regardless, be like, yeah, so we already killed all these people. Let's just go kill all these people. We'll be good. We'll be
right.
even.
No, it's a situation where it's like, I guess all the horrible choices you've made up until now have made this a good one to you, but I don't think the world is going to view it like that.
Yeah, you're weighing out a bad with a bad, a horrible with a even worse, or
Yeah.
whatever way you want to describe it. But it's a bad with a bad.
Yeah. R.I.P. to that guy. But yeah, I know. I definitely believe that there's some kind of alien shit going on, all the way back from like the fact that all religions have like similar stories of some most people consider the stories in these religions like mythology or like religious myth because we can't prove it or whatever. But like 9 out of 10 religious books have some kind of stories about them getting some kind of knowledge or visited by some otherworldly beings, whether it's like angels or like the spirits and the gods in like the Hindu texts. It's all there's all kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay, my bad. I forgot. I got sidetracked answering the question at first. Yeah, fucking yeah, I do
You got
believe in
freaky.
I do believe in aliens. Yeah, for sure. I feel like they got to be 100% out there. And
Right.
yeah, shit. I feel like there's some type of information as it slowly trickles out to the public year by year. Be like, there's like it's probably information from like the fucking 50s. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like
Exactly.
we're 70 years behind of what the information pipeline is really actually at.
Right. I mean, really, in the last 5 years, the government has like officially made like a UFO and UAP committee for unidentified anomalous phenomena. They've released a bunch of things where they basically admit that they don't know if it's like aliens or whatever. They can't prove that it's not, though. And like they have a bunch of programs set in place and have had programs set in place for like 80 years, just in case it is that and yada yada. But there's still a bunch of stuff in like black budgets and not discussed at all. But
Yeah. And the
I feel
more
like
information they give us, it'd be like, the more they're like, all right, well, let's divert this information. Like we'll tell them the
right,
shit is probably real, and we think it's real to
right. But the more
slowly,
bullshit they'll throw with it also.
yeah, exactly. Like they're slowly introducing us to information that's still like a little bit capped, but like they're like, all right, well, hopefully we'll get to a point where you feel me. They actually tell us
Exactly.
real what the fuck is really going on.
Right. Like I hate all this bullshit. I don't want to hear that, we might have recovered bodies of potential interdimensional or out of like galaxy beings.
Because
But
to me, if you're even announcing that, it's like, all right, bro, we know you did. Why?
right,
Why?
like
I
it's
mean,
so crazy to bring up, but at the same time, it's like, all right, but they're also telling us other random shit. Which one could be true? Which one could be a lie, just to make it, seem
exactly. And that's the fucked part about it is because most small minded, 90% of the fucking country is not really, it's just giving you feel me? You give them the information, they're going to fucking
bro.
absorb it.
90% of the government still 90% of the government, 90% of the country still believes the government wants them to like succeed and win as like people. They think
Right?
they want you to do good and live a healthy life.
That shit's crazy.
The government does not have your best interest, and they never did in most countries.
Never have.
Never
Cold,
was.
cold game.
Okay. I got a couple more things on here, but let me see. I had a bunch of stuff pulled up for us to look at online. Let's
Yep.
start with this. Let me know when you can see the screen.
What you can only do 40-minute podcasts at a time or what?
Yeah, because of I haven't paid for Zoom yet. They want you to pay to be able to have longer than like 40-minute recordings with other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so usually like with Jordan, we did two back
Yeah,
to
I was gonna say we could do a part two or whatever. You know what I mean?
do that. Second one, we can do more just reactions or back and forth, whatever. Can you see the screen?
Yep, my bad. Yep.
You good. Let me know if you can't hear it or something.
Boy, great party, huh, Fred? Yeah, Bon, I figured I ought to tell you this. I was walking by your house the other day, and I poked my head in the window, and Betty was undressing. She saw me there, but she didn't stop. What? She didn't stop. I mean, she saw me there looking at her, and she kept undressing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You serious? Yeah, I got an erection.
What?
I got an erection.
Got an erection. That was insanity, bro. Fred Flintstone had I by.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, we know Fred Flintstone's having his way regardless. I mean, if he wants Barney's wife, then he's gonna get. Uh,
He's
uh
the dog on campus. You're right.
yeah. Well, what's his wife's name? Bonnie, right?
Betty.
Mm.
Betty and Wilma. Fred's wife is Wilma. Oh, I saw this one caught my attention. I had to show you this because this is how I feel sometimes. DoorDash driver returns to customer's home with gun, demands cash tip.
Holy fuck!
Look at this crazy video, bro.
Damn, he was pissed, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I don't be tipping.
Hey, this is what you're risking. Look at this. They were fighting out the door, and the owner of the house, I guess, dropped his weapon or whatever. Yeah, he's like, man, if you don't give me no $20, give me $5, bro. Five cash. That's all I want.
Bro, holy fuck.
I, I do this for 10 hours and I'll make $80.
Bro,
Vancouver, Washington, 59-year-old former DoorDash driver, Robert
former.
Bobby Delahan was arrested after confronting a customer at their home, demanding an additional cash tip for a delivery.
Bro. I
Damn.
mean, makes a bad day with the with the customer service job, and honestly, anything can fucking happen.
DoorDash confirmed his deactivation and emphasized their zero tolerance policy for harassment.
I mean, yeah, he pulled up to the house with a
Oh,
fucking blick.
I found this story specifically for you. I knew you'd like this one. Tennessee hotel guest wakes up to night manager sucking on his toes.
Ooh, that sound. Where was it at? North Carolina,
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, W
An
country
evening
states.
manager of a Tennessee hotel was arrested after he snuck into a man's room and sucked on his toes.
That's not it. Never mind. It was a male. Holy fuck.
David Neal, a 52-year-old manager at the 4th Avenue South Hilton Hotel in Nashville, allegedly crept into a male guest's room while he was sleeping on March 30th and got intimate with his feet.
Oh my fucking god,
Crept
bro.
into.
That is absolute insanity.
Oh,
Crept into to get intimate with his
look
feet
at
is
the
fucking
face.
wild.
You've seen the face.
Oh
Neil,
my god, that's the guy?
yeah,
Jesus.
they blasting him.
Yeah, he for sure needs to get dox his ass.
Neil made a key to get into the room and entered around 5 a.m. 5,
Made a key.
yeah,
I wonder how many times this fucking guys did that before and didn't get caught or had someone
right.
fucking just had that key, just has keys made.
How many people woke up leaving that hotel like, bro, I had the weirdest dream that guy
Literally,
snuck in and licked my toes.
literally, I thought I had the craziest dream, thinking that shit's a fucking dream.
Police said Neil never once reported smelling smoke to security, and there were no other reports of guests or staff smelling smoke at the hotel. Oh, he claimed that he entered the room because he smelled smoke and wanted to make sure the guest was okay. So you gonna lick the fire off my toes?
Holy fuck, bro.
That's service.
That is absolute insanity.
Look
Smelled
how
smoke.
gross. Look how gross this Hilton in Nashville looks, bro. What the hell?
Damn, that shit looks like a fucking converted fucking.
Scientology building.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. The room key was not recovered. He has it.
Oh my God, bro. He's probably got thousands of room keys made for every single room he's ever entered.
Oh, he's fine. We got 10 minutes. He's currently jailed on $27,000 bond.
Bruh, 27 racks. Holy
He'll
fuck.
be back.
He'll be back. Yeah, that's the worst part.
Oh, look at this cutie. Upstate New York State school employees sent nudes to 14-year-old boy.
Bro,
Why is it always the bad ones?
bro, right? It'd be crazy. Where were they? Shit, I was trying to get Miss K to do some crazy shit like that in high school. She was not on that time.
Hey, I was trying to get, what was her name? Miss Harmio? Ooh,
Oh, Miss Harmio kind
Miss
of
Jar
bad.
Jar Binks.
She kind of bad, dog. Shout
Oh,
out Miss Harmio. Miss Harmio, we're grown now. What's up, baby?
we're
Hey now,
growing
baby.
now. This
Hey
gonna
now,
make
baby.
it to her.
I'm about to take my ass to Sandoval, baby.
All right, you got to see this one. This guy is just a maniac.
Oh my.
Serial rapist Zen Zhao Zhu,
Holy fuck.
jailed for minimum of 24 years. London student who police fear may have drugged and raped more than 60 women receives life sentence.
Bro,
Feared to
that's
be one of the worst offenders in British history, jailed with a minimum of 24 years. 10 women in the UK and China. 28-year-old PhD student filmed himself with these women between 2019 and 2024 after luring them to his flat with invitations to study or have dreams. Crazy.
That
Chinese.
guy,
Yeah, this man is a monster.
that guy is a straight demon.
Thanks to the remarkable efforts of our prosecutors and officers, a dangerous and cowardly offender will now spend the next 24 years behind bars. I just don't know what he was thinking trying to do that in China, in China and the UK. Like he was doing that in China, he probably thought, "Oh, I'm doing too much." Went to England and gets caught doing that in London. Like, yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, bro, the fucking retard.
They're gonna try to bury him under the jail.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Then they're gonna start linking all these things and pinning it on, be like, yeah, he was the one. He must have been the one. Fuck that. He was the one.
Yeah, I had to
Sick,
expose the
sick
demon.
boy. Look at that haircut though. Look what's going on in
Yeah,
there.
can we take a second just to acknowledge the demon haircut? He
Bro,
cut
what
that
is
with a
that?
pole by
Looks like
himself.
a yeah, literally looks like a fucking velociraptor from the hood. Fucking sliced the front of his hair.
The BBW Velociraptor got to him.
Oh, literally.
Saudi journalist tweeted against the government and was executed for high treason.
That looks like a face you can make an emote out of right there.
Yeah, we could definitely add this to the stream. Tweet posted by Saudi journalist Turki Al Jazeera. The Arab writer can be easily killed by their government under the pretext of national security, he wrote. On Saturday, the Saudi Interior Ministry announced that Al Jazeera had been executed
Jesus.
because he wrote that the Arab writer can be easily killed by their government. You know, people gotta know that it's nice, you gotta appreciate the amount of free speech we do get in America because
100%.
this is one of the biggest, most advanced of whatever forward countries in the world, allegedly. They're trying to be more modern, appearing at least, than anybody else in the world. And, you can't even type on Twitter that you could die for typing the wrong shit on Twitter without dying for it. Sad.
Yeah, it
We,
really is. It really is. It'd be crazy to think how silenced a lot of countries and shit are.
we wish the families well.
Facts.
R. Kelly suffered an overdose of medications given to him by prison staff, his lawyers say. They're trying to get him home and his immediate release because of an alleged murder plot.
Uh-oh. He's spiraling out of control in that bitch. He in there thinking about everything, every plot.
The latest filing comes from federal prosecutors who put disgraced Kelly, 58, in prison for 30 years and have slammed his attempts to gain a release as deeply unserious and repugnant. The Grammy-winning multi-platinum selling R&B songwriter was convicted in 2021. According to his lawyer, Kelly was put in solitary confinement June 10th. He had with him his medications for anxiety, Zanzan, on
Oh
the
my
same.
God.
His lawyer says prison staff entered his room and directed him to take further medications, and he complied. The filing says that the interaction was captured on camera. He says he felt faint, he was dizzy, he started to see black spots, and he was rushed to Duke University Hospital. His lawyers said that they gave him an amount of medicine that could have killed him. So his lawyers, last part, his lawyers are also seeking an intervention from President Donald Trump to get Kelly out.
Bro, they gave his ass 30 years.
30 with like
Holy
0 to
fuck.
no parole chances.
Holy fuck. He fucked himself. big time.
Yeah, I don't know if he like just, didn't want to take a plea deal and was hoping that his lawyers could win it and like make him, take the guilty stain off him. Because they would probably have given him a plea deal if he said he was guilty and yada yada, like they did with Young Thug and ASAP Rocky. It's possible, but he
Yeah,
probably
by the way they said unprofessional in this shit, he probably was, yeah, just like acting like he deserved it or something.
yeah, unserious and like he's still regardless of if he did do it or not, he's convicted of it and he's not approaching the bench correctly.
Exactly.
Sad. We
Fucking
wish him
R.
well.
Fucking R. Kelly, bro.
This was a crazy one. Harvard hired a researcher to uncover its ties to slavery. He says the results cost him his job. We found too many slaves.
Oh my God.
I have reason to believe through archival research that you could be the descendant of Tony and Cuba Vassal, two slaves from Antigua, by a founding member connected to Harvard University. Somebody from Harvard contacted the guy who was like writing this piece while he was researching it. Are you available anytime for a call? The note linked to a website containing a family tree that he had created, tracing the lineage of people enslaved by Isaac Royale, an Antiguan planter and businessman whose endowment would eventually create Harvard Law School.
Holy fuck.
It felt too specific to be a scam, so she agreed to a call that would eventually blow open everything she thought she knew about her family history, linking her with one of the nation's most prestigious institutions.
That sounds like a fucking Black Mirror episode, bro.
Literally, like they tried to, just figure out if Harvard had any slave ties, and this girl was like, no, and my family was your slaves.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah,
That's
Dr.
fucked.
Drew Faust acknowledged the university was directly complicit in slavery, and in 2022, the university released an official report which detailed its history of over more than 100 pages.
Holy fuck. They were racist as fuck. Harvard is built off slave.
Photographs of enslaved people in the U.S. were discovered in the basement of a Harvard museum in 19.
What the fuck, bro? Damn, that's crazy. I wonder if they're hiding it or if no one had found it.
I mean, a source of guilt and shame for Harvard. I imagine they didn't want to, be too open about their sources of guilt and shame.
I mean, it's one thing to be open about it. It's two things to be fucking hoarding it and keeping all of that. I mean, yeah, I guess it's historical shit, but to have it in the basement, what the fuck does that mean?
I think they're just hiding it, kind of like how
Right? Yeah, let's just like in the tug. Like it's not like a basement that's like explorable or has books to rent to books to fucking check out or anything.